Today on Fatherly Advice, we will be continuing our discussion on understanding. And when we talk about understanding, what we are really talking about is, are we as people being considerate of one another, taking into account the other person's feelings, background, perspective when we are dealing with one another. And we will continue taking excerpts from the book Life's Winning Formula as we get started today. And we want to start by saying people are quick to judge, but slow to understand. For example, people pass judgment on professional athletes all the time without taking into consideration or not even trying to understand why some professional athletes make the decisions they make. A real popular topic when discussing athletes is how do they seem to always lose all the money they making millions of dollars, but seem to lose all that money in such a short period of time. Because I think there have been some research pretty much saying that maybe 70% of athletes are broke once they leave their professional sport of choice. So why is that? How does that happen? Most of the time when you hear people talking about that situation, they talk about, oh man, they're crazy. They just waste all their money. They do so many crazy and wild things, living a wild lifestyle. They just don't care. And they look up and all the money is gone. But let's suppose we take a little deeper look into why and try to understand why this type of thing may happen. Okay? First of all, you need to understand that many of these guys come from poverty. Understand that many of these guys have spent their entire lives making wishes. And when they finally become wealthy, they buy everything in sight. Due to the nature of poverty, always not having, always just constantly wishing, boy, when I get this, boy, this gonna happen. Boy, when that happen, when I get this amount of money, this. And when they get their money, they see that is the first time in their lives they able to make everything they desire happen. And they try to get it all in a very short period of time. Also understand that many of these guys are taking care of generations of people and family members. Understand that many of these guys were 20 years old when they came into millions of dollars. Only yesterday they were broke and eating ramen noodles in a dorm room. So one day you may go from having $2 in your pocket, and the very next day you got 20 million. And taking into account, you never knew anyone that maybe had $2,000 at one time. So a lot of this goes to financial literacy. Sometimes their poverty background have not prepared them. Sometimes they have not received the best education while in college. People use them, just keep them eligible to play sports and not giving them the courses they need in order to prepare them. So therefore, they didn't have a proper education about money coming up. And then when they got into the university system, they still didn't get a proper education about finances. So a lot of times they are listening to their homeboys, families and friends, all people who come from the same background they come from, with little to no experience with large sums of money. Okay? So, in saying all that, they were not given an opportunity to grow into their money, so they make young and foolish financial decisions. This is just one example of how a lack of understanding may cause many of us to pass judgment on others without examining all the facts. And we do this all the time. So we can do this with professional athletes and young people. Think about how many times we are passing judgment on people without understanding their background, their point of view, their perspective. We just base our judgment on our own experience, therefore not even giving them the opportunity, the benefit of the doubt, and we don't even try to understand their situation and their experience. Therefore, we close our minds to how we may help that person. If you take a little time and maybe try to understand why that person may be the way they are, you may be able to help that individual and not pass judgment. Until next time, on Fatherly Advice, have a great one.